hold up, before you go and dislike this video and not listen to anything I have to say, let me just state outright, Avatar's not a bad show. Avatar's an amazing show. Avatar is one of the best fucking animated shows, one of the best shows, period, ever fucking made. It is a pinnacle of its art form, and I love it dearly. The reason I am saying that it's disappointing is that on a recent rewatch, it didn't quite hold up to my nostalgic memories of it, and that's why this video exists, so I could kind of talk about those things. Now, as a lot of you guys know, I'm working on a Legend of Korra video essay thing, and to have full context for the franchise, I decided to rewatch Avatar: The Last Airbender, so that way I made sure I had all my shit straight. And I was super excited to rewatch this series, to revisit a classic that I thought was goddamn 10 out of 10 perfect, only to realize maybe some of the parts that I thought were perfect weren't so perfect after all. Now, right out of the gate, from the very beginning of the series, the first thing that really stood out to me in book one is the writing is really, really uneven in the early episodes. I want to say about the first 5 to 6 episodes of the show, the writing is really uneven. As in, like, sometimes it's just great. It's fantastic. It's exactly how I remember Avatar being. Other times, just some of the dialogue, some of the exposition, it gets a little clunky. It's a little awkward. Just some of, like, Sokka's lines don't quite land like they're supposed to. I was like, okay, I get the joke you're going for, but it just, like, a lot of that stuff ends up falling flat. And I will say, like, the first 2 episodes, it does a good job of establishing everything and then moving the story forward, but it also kind of just takes its time in that 2 episode span. Like, I feel like that 2 episodes probably could have just been a single episode, and you could have gotten a lot of that same information just out of the way in 22 minutes. So yeah, there's a lot of that, and like in those early episodes, I would say like the Zuko stuff is where it really shines, but then whenever it cuts to like Aang, Katara, Sokka in those early episodes, it's like the writers hadn't quite found their footing, hadn't really clicked the dynamic of these characters. One of the big exceptions to this early on is when they go to the Air Temple, and there's still a little of that clunky awkwardness, but like the scene where Aang finds Monkey Atsu, and there's like all those dead fucking Fire Nation bodies surrounding him, that's awesome. That's perfect. They nailed that. But it's not like every single scene with Aang, Katara, and Sokka are bad or awkward or clunky. It's just it just feels like the writing is just not on par, because you have like this really great Zuko moment that's being juxtaposed with this perfectly serviceable Aang, Katara, Sokka moment, and it's kind of like this almost not like a tonal whiplash, but just like you can see the difference in quality, where it feels like someone else was writing the Zuko stuff, or maybe they just didn't really have anything good enough for Team Avatar to really do, so they just kind of tossed in some fluff to fill out a 22-minute episode. And there's a lot of episodes, well, not a lot, I would say like a fourth of the episodes, maybe a little bit more than a fourth of the episodes kind of suffer from that uneven writing. And then of course, you have episodes like the Great Divide. That one's just a generic ass Hackfield and McCoy. We need to solve this, old rivalry bullshit thing, and he solves it by fucking lying. No, nobody really likes the Great Divide. In fact, even the writers of the show make fun of the Great Divide in the recap episode, the Ember Island Players, where it's just like, oh look, it's the Great Divide. Let's just keep on going. Even they acknowledge that's not a good episode. But honestly, there's other episodes that feel, honestly, like not that. Like one episode I really remembered loving was when they go to Amashu, and we meet King Boomy, and Yeah, Boomy is nowhere near as charming as I remember him being. Like, I remember his eccentric personality, like, you know, being, what a fun, fucking weird-ass character. But honestly, like, going back to him, I'm like, honestly, he comes off as more, his antics come off more cringy than particularly charming or funny. The way, like, just how that whole thing is resolved, where Aang goes, oh man, like the solution to every problem wasn't quite what I thought it was gonna be. He's Boomy! What? Like, that's what you took away from it, that the solutions were unusual, so that made sense that, oh, clearly this is a hint that he's... Like that is some Batman 66 Riddler tier, like, where the Riddler would leave some fucking obscure riddle, and then they, like, Batman and Robin would be like, oh, yes, and then they'd make, like, they'd solve the riddle, but then make, like, 15 logical leaps to figure out, like, what the Riddler's actual plan was, and it'd be some fucking flar-fung bullshit that barely resembled the riddle at all, if even had any connection to the riddle. And that's kind of how I felt about that whole stuff with Boomy. In Boomy, I think, is a much better character in the later episodes. I mean, I could pedantically nitpick a lot of things about Avatar, honestly. Like, you know, like, it's kind of weird that, like, Aang is supposed to have been raised in this monk monastery, yet he has friends. Yet by age 12, this kid has fully mastered airbending to get his airbending tattoos, has traveled the world enough to have a great friend in the Earth Kingdom and a great friend in the Fire Nation, because that's something that they established, that he had those two friends. And I understand that he's also an air nomad, but it's just like, well, wait, if the air nomads are actually a nomadic people, then how were they all wiped out in a single day during Sozin's Comet? So yeah, like I said, I can nitpick it. Honestly, like, let me just say right now, you don't have to, like, sit there and type out your response to try to justify. I don't actually care, but, like, you know, those are things that I did notice. And, like, the show's full of, like, little things that I could just kind of nitpick and stuff. And the reason I do notice that is that one of the things that I'm doing, like, I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler for the Korra video. One of the reasons I rewatched Avatar was so I could take pedantic, nitpicky fucking things about Avatar as an example of the nitpicky fucking bullshit people do to Korra. But I actually don't care about the nitpicky stuff in Korra or Avatar, because, you know, those things don't take me out of the experience. It's just like, oh, that was a, you know, that was a clumsy bit of writing, whatever, and just kind of move on. But the kind of uneven writing in the early episodes really took me out of the first fourth of the book one. By the time you get past that, I feel like the episodes get a lot stronger, and it is, I would say, an above average series. You know, it has a lot of great character interactions, a lot of great moments. It's good. It is a good, rock solid show. Doesn't really hit any peak of greatness, though, until you get to the finale with the Water Tribe, the Northern Water Tribe, and the whole big battle, and the koi fish, and, you know, all of that is fucking awesome. Every bit of that is fucking awesome. Loved every second of that. And after that, I'm hyped. I'm like, okay, there we go. Avatar has hit its stride, and it is just going to be smooth sailing from here on out. And it's going to be just great. Because I remember book 2 being great. And I get to book 2, and the first 5 episodes just faceplant. I'm like I said, once again, they're not bad episodes, but honestly, like, in my mind, I had put Avatar on this pedestal as one of the greatest fucking shows ever. And it's not like, you know, my nostalgic memories always betray me. I just recently rewatched all of Evangelion, and it was better than I remembered it being. I'm still in the process of watching Revolutionary Girl Utena. I need to finish the last arc of it, but where I'm at right now, I am, once again, like, my experience with Utena this go around was even better than I remembered my previous experience watching it. And the same thing with Ava. And so to go to Avatar and have it not exceed my nostalgic memories, but instead has fallen short, was really surprising me. Especially something like Book 2, because people universally love Book 2. Like, some people will say, like, Book 1, yeah, Book 1 is good, or Book 1's alright, but Book 2 is where it gets fucking awesome, and it's fucking amazing. And I would have agreed with you until I went back and rewatched it. The first 5 episodes feel so damn superfluous. And much like the first few episodes of Book 1, Book 2, the best parts of those early episodes are all the stuff with Zuko and Iroh. Like, that stuff, all great. Then you go to Aang and Katara and Sokka, and they're just... It just feels like they're filling space. Like, they had an episode quota to make, and the individual episodes just kind of meh. Like, even stuff like the Cave of Lovers, which I remember liking that episode, and I'm just like, this, like, come on, like, you know, because it's not like it's a very original type of plotline, much like the Hatfield-McCoy bullshit that he did with The Great Divide. This whole, like, oh, we're gonna go into the Cave of Lovers, and, like, oh, it's gonna set up Aang Katara, even though, like, you don't really need to be that upfront with it. And in fact, like, when you have Aang being like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't want to kiss you anyhow, and then she gets angry at him, that felt like some weird-ass anime rom-com filler bullshit, where, like, the main character, like it seems like the destined couple are, like, growing closer, but then, like, the one character, like, you know, says something stupid, like, usually the guy says something stupid that, like, resets them back to 0, and it's like, just killing all progression. And it's weird, too, because it's, like, so early into their kind of romance. Like, you know, Book 1 had a little bit of that stuff with Madame Wu, and here it felt like, you know, it's like, okay, they're going to build on that, and then they just kind of fuck that up, but then they also kind of do, like, the them kissing thing, and it's like, I don't know. Episode didn't work for me. The first 5 episodes of Book 2 did not work for me at all, except for the Zuko stuff. And, like, the only episode that was kind of sort of interesting, I feel like the one episode that people are going to defend is the first episode of Book 2, where they get to the Earth Kingdom, and that one guy's just like, I'm going to make you trigger your avatar state, and I'm going to fucking almost kill your girlfriend. It's, you know, make you the avatar. And, like, I don't know. It feels still unnecessary to me. Like it doesn't really add anything. We already knew this about the Avatar state, that that it's wild and out of control, that it triggers whenever he's in emotional distress, and, you know, that it is a very dangerous thing. So, like, you really don't need to have an episode that proves how dangerous it is. You could just, like, have him say, like, yeah, no, I don't want to use the Avatar state for this reason, and have people go, okay, fine. You know, like, if you feel it's that dangerous, let's not use it. Move on. Especially considering, like, you know, he's going to be traveling around, so it's going to be like, why aren't the other, like, you know, nations, like, you know, like, when he gets to, like, you know, Ba Sing Se, why aren't they, like, trying to push the Avatar thing on him then? Because, you know, I doubt they know about the other incident that he had with his Avatar state. So, yeah, the first 5 episodes feel completely superfluous, other than the Zuko stuff. Like, you could take all the Zuko stuff, cut it into, like, one episode, and make that the first episode of Book 2. It'd be a really weird first episode of Book 2, but it'd be a first episode that actually felt like it, like, meant anything as a whole. So, yeah, like the Zuko stuff, great. Everything else in those episodes you can fucking drop. And that's the weird thing, too, because the first few episodes of Book 1 weren't necessarily bad. Like I said, they were just kind of uneven. Like, you know, like, you'd have, like, the Zuko writing just felt a lot stronger than the writing with Team Avatar. And here, you just have, like, great fucking Zuko character development and storytelling juxtaposed with what feels like fucking filler for Team Avatar to just kind of eat up space to get their 20-episode mandated amount and to fill a 22-minute chunk. All those episodes just felt completely superfluous. Once you get past that, then we get Toph. Toph saves this fucking show. She should have been introduced sooner. She should have been in there in episode 1. Episode 1 should have been the fucking Toph episode, and it would have been great. But no, they don't. They don't do that. They make us wait, and I really think it's to the show's detriment because she is such an interesting character. Her power set, how she uses it, how she interacts with it, how characters interact with her, how they write around this character is just fantastic. The blind jokes I love. Like when they're flying to the library, and she's just like, there it is. And everyone looks, and she goes, is what I'd say if I could see anything. And it's just like, oh, they fell for it. And there's plenty of great jokes like that, like book 3 where they're holding out the wanted poster. It's like, Toph, what is this? It's just like, well, I'm assuming from the sound it's a piece of paper, but I guess you mean what's on the paper. And there's just so many great jokes that, because characters do very frequently forget Toph is blind because she doesn't act like a blind person. Yes, she stares off into the distance, but she's still such a fully functional character that doesn't really need anyone's help that, it is very easy. Like, I could imagine real people having that same issue with someone like that. And it's also, like, utilized in really interesting ways. Like, whenever Katara makes that ice bridge that everyone crosses, and Toph doesn't want to step on it because it's ice. It's not earth. She can't see. And that's a really clever thing. Even though they kind of, like, fuck it up a little bit in some of the later episodes where she's, like, clearly walking on, like, wood floor. And it's just like, okay, well, that's not earth. You're on a wood floor. But, let that stuff slide. Like I said, I don't care about the pedantic nitpicky things. But it is just kind of funny to think about. I'm like, she's on, like, the second floor of a building that's made of wood. But like I said, it doesn't take me out of it. It's just little things I noticed. And yeah, Toph is, like I said, the saving grace of this arc. She elevates every goddamn scene she's in. The way she plays off of Aang, the way she plays off of Katara, the way she plays off of Sokka. It keeps their dynamic from getting old. Like, because I feel like you could only keep that 3-person dynamic for so long before it was going to get old. And I really think the beginning of book 2 is a really good example of how it just kind of started to fall apart, started to erode. And it carries that momentum. Toph just carries that momentum all the way to the end of book 2, the fall of Ba Sing Se. Azula, oh my god. Because that's another thing. Like, Azula doesn't really factor in until, like, Toph is introduced into their group. Like, Azula, I believe, is there. Like, you have, like, a few scenes with her, but you don't get, like, the full Azula, like, being Azula, going after the Avatar. You don't get, like, all of that until after, Toph is introduced. And that, like her as a villain, she is one of the most amazing villains in the history of villaindom. She's possibly my favorite character in this entire franchise. And she's just by far the best fucking thing in this book. Like, her and Toph are just this spark that this book needed to really elevate itself to legitimate greatness. And I would say book 2 is legitimately great had it not been for those early episodes. Like, if you just introduced those 2 characters sooner and had them be more active within the story, you could have really just catapulted and elevated that entire fucking story. But they don't. And they introduce them later. Now, like I said, I think it suffers because of it. So yeah, we have book 1, which has some uneven writing and just kind of fine episodes that ends on a really high note. Book 2 that I felt just kind of meandered around pointlessly for 5 episodes until it actually got good and then became fucking phenomenal. And then we get to book 3, and it's just 10 out of 10 the whole way through. That one is perfect. That one is actually the perfect fucking book of Avatar. It is 10 out of 10. phenomenal. Like, every single episode is like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. And that, to me, makes the whole fucking book a 10 out of 10. Because every part, because that book is kind of segmented into, like, this 3-act structure where, like, you have the early episodes, like, you know, every book of Avatar has the early episodes where it's kind of, like, establishing things, getting used to, like, the new status quo, and, yeah, that's kind of what those early episodes of Book 2 were. And even, like, the early episodes of Book 1, where it's just kind of introducing Aang and Katara and Sokka and just kind of, like, cementing their dynamic. Book 2, you know, just kind of, you know, more of the same. And then Book 3, though, it has those early kind of more episodic, chill episodes. But the mere fact that it's set in the Fire Nation, where they are undercover, and they're trying to integrate themselves in, and it gets to present the Fire Nation as people. You get to see children in the Fire Nation. You get to see, like, the war propaganda that these people are raised with. And it really humanizes these characters. Because I love when you take, like, the big, faceless, evil enemy army, and you, like, look closer at them and see this human aspect to them and go, oh, right, yeah, no, these are still people. It's one of the things I really loved about Mobile Suit Gundam, is, like, you know, the Zeon in Mobile Suit Gundam were, even though they were the villain faction, you know, you would see them, like, you know, they had lives, they had families, they were just people who were fighting for a cause that they believed in, that they felt like they were on the correct side of history. And you see these people who are, like, being taught this warped version of history, that they think that they're fighting for this greater good and that they are the objectively right ones in this situation. So, yeah, it gives you so much context and humanizes the Fire Nation. Then you get, like, the middle chunk of episodes, where they leave that and they go to Air Temple Island, or they go to, like, one of the air temples, and that's when Zuko shows up, and Zuko has his whole training thing, so you get, like, the full, like, you know, and Zuko's episodes are so goddamn good, because, like, literally you had, like, this great fucking starting place, and every bit of that first third is so good, because, like, either you're having, you're either humanizing the Fire Nation, you're having Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph, all of them kind of, you know, integrating themselves into this society, or you have the dynamic between like Azula and Zuko, or Zuko and Mai, or Zuko and his father, or, like, you know, or like Azula and Ty Lee and Mai. Like you get these dynamics with all of these characters, and just that arc, like the fucking beach episode, like when talk about fucking humanizing these people, where it's just like, yeah, we're gonna have a fun summer beach episode with the villains and just completely explore them as people. Mwah. Perfect. 10 out of 10 fucking episode. One of the greatest fucking episodes. Says so much, not just about, like, because it's funny because, like, Azula is the one who, like, kind of says the least during their big, like, emotional thing, but you see so much leading up to that. Her desire to kind of want to be normal, but she's such a fucking psychopath that she doesn't integrate properly. How that pushed her mother away, and how that actually does hurt her feelings, even though she does acknowledge that she is kind of a fucked up person. And she realizes that she's a fucked up person and is trying to, like, pull some of that back when she tries to integrate herself. And just how she has her, which eventually leads to her full fucking psychological break when Ty Lee and, shit, have I been saying Mai? Is it May? I think it's May. Yeah. Like, they kind of turn on her, and, like, that fucking line from May where it's just, you know, I love him more than I'm scared of you. Fucking good. It's good shit. I love it. And then, of course, you know, you have the whole lead-in to the big finale. The only thing I can criticize Book 3 for is the one thing that I think everybody who has ever watched Avatar Last Airbender would criticize Book 3 for, and that is the lion turtle. He comes completely out of fucking nowhere. I mean, literally, just kind of swims up to the island that Aang is on, and then Aang just kind of fucking like walks into the ocean, swims to him, wakes up. Oh, where the fuck am I? Talks to the lion turtle, and the lion turtle's just like, here, have some energy bending, bitch. And there you go. He has his fucking MacGuffin to beat the Fire Lord with that we're not actually privy to what the fuck he did until the very end. And like that really bugs me because it takes Aang, because Aang is a character who is not really challenged. Like if like there's one thing I would criticize the series for as a whole is that Aang is a very stationary protagonist. Where he is at the beginning of the series and where he is at the end of it, he's essentially still philosophically the same person. He doesn't really learn a whole lot. Like, he matures a bit. Like, he's a little bit more serious, but only because the circumstances that he's under require him to be more serious. We see the serious aspect of him much earlier on, and from the moment that he realized that his people have been wiped out, and that he views himself as responsible, his character doesn't really change from that point on, because it is, I fucked up, this led to all of this happening, I need to fix this problem. He immediately takes the responsibility for it and works towards doing that, and that never changes. The only time there's any conflict with Aang's character is when he has to confront the idea of killing the Fire Lord, because he was always taught not to kill. Even though the previous Air Avatar told him, your responsibilities to the Avatar outweigh your morals, your values, like that you were taught. Like, you need to do what is for the greater good of the people. And he just isn't willing to shake on that. And that leads him to, you know, having his big Deus Ex Machina moment, where when it's that big moment of truth, instead of, you know, killing the Fire Lord, he just goes, whoop, took your bending. Like the big thing that really would have, you know, had an impact on his character, he's just allowed to sidestep it via Deus Ex Machina. And it's also kind of weird that, like, oh, I took the Fire Lord's bending away, took care of all, fixed the problem. It's just like, well, no, because he's still alive. Like, really, like, you know, he's still the Fire Lord. He's still the ruler of these people. Bending or no bending. Like, he's less dangerous as an individual, but he still has all the pull and sway that he did before, because he's still the royal head of this nation. How does taking the bending away from one guy... So yeah, like I said, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief and be fine with that, but it, like, the mere fact that, like, Aang's character, like, the one big thing that they challenge him on, he just bullshits his way out of, and the fact that the way he bullshits his way out of it is through a thing that literally just comes out of fucking nowhere and has no build-up. Like, yeah, you see, like, a picture of a lion turtle in, like, the Great Library, but it's never fucking actually built up. It's just there, and then, oh shit, a lion turtle. So yeah, that's kind of just my entire thoughts on Avatar: Last Airbender. Still a phenomenal show. Still one of the best shows ever made. It is a pinnacle, just a fucking achievement in terms of storytelling for American children's television. Still a phenomenal series. A great fucking 9 out of 10 is what that show is to me. But like I said, I was expecting to go and experience the 10 out of 10 that I had remembered. And like I said, it fell a little bit short. Doesn't make it bad. No show's fucking perfect, except for maybe Evangelion and Cowboy Bebop. And man, Utna's been really fucking good. I need to finish Utna. But you know, besides all that, no show is perfect. Not even Avatar. And for those wondering, like, oh man, if he's this fucking hard on Avatar, just wait till he goes and rewatches Korra. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret, but while rewatching Korra, at this point I am 6 episodes into The Legend of Korra, And it's better than I remember. Like, those first 6 episodes are way better than the first 6 episodes of Book 1 of Avatar or Book 2 of Avatar. Maybe even better than Book 3 of Avatar's early episodes are fucking fantastic. It's really hard to top that. Like I said, that's just perfect. But, yeah, like the first 6 episodes of Korra have been just phenomenal. I've been loving it. I love the pro bending. I don't get why people hate it. It plays such a minor role in it. It plays actually a fairly valuable role in terms of like showing the evolution of bending, giving Korra people to connect with, showing Tenzin that Korra's kind of autistic and needs to be trained a different way. Like his teaching method isn't going to work for her, and that she needs something less spiritual, more like in the heat of battle than what he's teaching her. So yeah, like it serves a lot of purposes, and it only takes up like 2.5 episodes realistically of this 12 episode series, and it all leads into the big mid-season climax at episode 6. Episode 6 is the big mid-season climax, and like that's, you know, the pro bending finale where Amon attacks, and yeah, no. Legend of Korra so far has been really fucking good. It's better than I even fucking remembered. Which I was really worried about. Like, I thought I was gonna like go back and watch Korra and be like, oh no, everybody was right. Korra isn't that good. Oh no, I have to like completely rethink this fucking video essay idea I was thinking. No, okay. I was wrong about Korra, but only that it's actually better than I was thinking it was. So now I'm super looking forward to making that Korra video. I still have a lot of Korra to get my way through, so that video is going to take a while. Cross your fingers it's out by November, because I still need to finish watching Korra, then write everything, then write everything, rewrite everything, rewrite everything, record all the audio, record all the live action segments, because God knows I'm not going to not have live action segments, and then put all that together while also collecting all the footage I need, because fucking ripping Blu-rays is going to take me for fucking ever. Oh my god. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on Avatar. I'm super excited to get through Korra. There will not be a Korra vlog because the Korra rewatch is for the big Korra video essay. And if I did a Korra vlog, it's going to completely devalue it'll just be a shittier, less informative version of the video essay. So yeah, you're not going to get a Korra vlog, but you will get the big Korra essay that will hopefully... Man, I want to say November, but I'm already so far into October that I might just want to just hedge my bets and say December, Christmas video. Yeah. Oh my god, I've made one scripted video this fucking year. I am a fucking horrible YouTuber. Whatever. See you guys later. Bye-bye.